All right, everybody. I wanted to make just a short video to talk about statics this summer 2020. So what I want to do first is talk about the syllabus. So I'm going to open up the syllabus, which is right on the main page. And let me just bring it up here if I can. There we go. And so just some basic information. Obviously, there's my name. My office is in building 4, but obviously in Pensacola, obviously the campus is closed. So the best ways to reach me are my cell phone's good. If you want to text me, that's fine. But the best way is email. Email is always the best way to contact me, and I encourage you to do that. I encourage you also, please use the Gmail. Don't use the Canvas messages, but I mean, if you send me a Canvas message, that's okay. I'll respond to it, but I prefer the Gmail, just using your student Gmail, just easier that way. But also, you're encouraged to use the Canvas forums. Rarely do I see students use the forums, the message boards that are in Canvas, but it's a good place to ask a question because you can get help from other students. So it's not a bad place to use if you want to. We'll give it a shot, maybe. I don't know. We'll see. But anyways, but I'm always want to help you. I don't have any formal office hours, of course, but email is a great way. Please reach out. Also, if we need to, we could probably do an occasional WebEx or something like that. I do plan on having at least 2 formal WebEx times, one before the midterm and one before the final. So we'll do a live WebEx at least a couple times in the class, and maybe I'll jump on and do a few more. We'll just see how things go. And of course, if I do that, I'll post a link to the WebEx. I'll tell you all about it. But mainly, this is an online course. It's asynchronous, meaning the videos are all recorded. All the content's there. You can work ahead. And that's a lot of times it's really good for students. And if you need help, I'm very responsive in email. So what's statics all about? Statics is a really important course in engineering. It's the study of forces on bodies at rest or bodies in constant velocity, really, but generally forces on bodies at rest. And so we're going to look at all sorts of different things, mechanical devices. We're going to look at bridges. We're going to look at all sorts of interesting assemblies, frame type devices. And you're going to learn how to look at the forces inside. And so it's a really important class. It's one of the first engineering classes you'll have, and it's a prereq to several other courses. So you really need to know this content, or you're going to have a harder time in several future classes. So this is a really important class. All right, so the course textbook is Engineering Mechanics Statics by Hibbler, 14th edition. Now let me talk really quick about the textbook, okay? Do you need the book? Well, you don't really need this book, but I recommend it. I recommend the book. Now, what you do need is access to Mastering Engineering for your homework. All right. So the bookstore puts out a combo where you can get the book and access to Mastering Engineering. That's great, but it's also expensive. So your cheapest option typically is to buy Mastering Engineering on its own, just buy the access to the Mastering Engineering, and then instead of buying the new book, go buy a used book. Go on eBay and buy any edition of Hibbler that's not the 14th edition. Go to earlier edition. You can pick up an earlier edition of Hibbler really cheap on eBay, 10 bucks, so really cheap. I do recommend that you get a textbook. I think it makes a lot of sense. It's good to have. And so I think you should really get one, but you don't have to get the newest one, okay? Now, you do need access to Mastering, as I said, and Mastering Engineering is where you do your homework, okay? It's a really good site, and that's where, and I'll show you Mastering here in a moment, and so you need to make sure that you're signed up for that, okay? It's really important. Homework is 25% of your grade, but to be honest with you, in statics, homework is everything, okay? If you don't know how to do these problems on your own, when it comes to the test, you're not going to do well, okay? And so it's really important that you you work on this homework, that you dedicate yourself to the homework, because that's how you learn statics. Okay, you learn statics by doing statics. And you don't just read the book, you don't just watch the lectures, you solve problems. Okay, that's how you do it. Okay, so homework is really, really important. Now, I want to help you. So I know sometimes things get late. So late homework only deducts 10% per day, maximum 40%. And also, because of the way I do the homework score, I actually don't ever drop a homework score, but what I do is when I actually calculate your percentage at the end of the semester, I look at how many points are possible, and then I actually use 10 less of that. So, for instance, if there's 60 total points of homework, when I calculate your percentage, I'm dividing by 50, not 60. So typically there's a lot of students who have a homework percentage much higher than 100%, which is really great, and it helps boost your grade. So that's homework. We also have 6 quizzes. I haven't done this online before. It's going to be a little different. And each quiz will be 30 minutes each. They'll be online using the Respondus Lockdown browser. Okay, so with the webcam, you'll need to have that. And they'll be in an 8-hour window, which will include some time in the evening. So I'll probably do it from like, noon to 8. And so hopefully you've got some time in that 8-hour window that you can jump online and take a 30-minute quiz. All right, that's the idea. So I'll drop the lowest quiz. Actually, your total score will be your total points divided by 50. So it's actually a really nice deal. And I'm even going to have, by the way, an extra credit quiz. And in fact, we'll have an extra credit quiz coming up soon. And that extra credit quiz will cover the syllabus, it'll cover the course, just some basic information, just to make sure you're paying attention. And so I'm going to have that be another 5 points that you can possibly earn. So watch this video carefully. Pay attention to this video carefully, because the stuff I'm covering will also be on the extra credit quiz. And of course, I'll announce that quiz shortly, and you'll have plenty of time to be aware of that quiz. And it's just extra credit. So quizzes are also all open notes and open book. The same thing with the exams. The exams are open notes and open book. But let me tell you a little something I learned when we did this in the spring. Because we're doing the Respondus Lockdown browser, if you have the book only as an ebook, if you have the notes only on the computer, you know what the problem is? You don't have access to any of that stuff while you're taking the quiz. So if you have a book and you have notes that are physical, like you print out the notes, you have a physical textbook, well then it's a lot easier to have access to them during the quizzes and during the exams. So you might want to do that, and I highly recommend it. All right, let's talk about exams. We've got a midterm and a final, each 25%. All right, and I give you a couple of dates there. I haven't totally locked down the midterm and final exam, but I'm going to tell you this. There will be 2 times. There will be a daytime and an evening option to take each exam. So for the midterm, I'll have one of them in the day and one of them in the evening. And they could even possibly be on different days. Okay, so I'm doing that to just make it as convenient as possible, so hopefully most students can find one or the other time to work for them. Okay, and so please do everything you can to take the exam in this range. Okay, please don't schedule major things in these times. Okay, please try to keep it clear, at least a little bit, so that you can take these exams. And of course, you're taking them online using the Respondus Lockdown browser with webcam. Okay, so you need to have that working out. That's why we're going to do this practice quiz. This practice quiz makes me know that you're good to go when it comes to the real quizzes and the real tests. Okay, now the exams are going to be a little different maybe than in-person exams. They're going to have more problems, 8 problems, and they're going to be more time. Why do I do that? Here's why. Because if you screw up on a problem, it's better to have more problems, right? If you make 1 mistake out of 8 problems, that's not so bad. If you make 1 mistake out of 4 problems, that's a lot worse, right? For your grade. So I do more problems to help you, not to make it harder for you. And I give you lots of time, 200 minutes, so that hopefully you've got plenty of time, you can work slow, okay? and you can do well on the problems. Okay, that's my hope. So let's talk about the grade scale. I haven't done this. Typically, I don't publish a grade scale, but this time I decided to do it because I felt like students would be benefit from it. So there it is. That's the grade scale that we'll go with. All right. And also, this is very much the coverage for the videos that you'll have and the chapters that you'll take, that you'll have in the Hibbler textbook. Okay. So this is your roadmap for the semester. So this week, what do? This week, watch videos 1 and 2. Okay. This week, videos 1 and 2 cover chapter 2. And this week, you should start on homework 1. And homework 1 will be due next week. Okay. If you read the homework, homeworks are always due each week on Tuesdays at 11:59 p.m. Okay. So you read this week, you watch videos 1 and 2. And you start working on homework 1, which is due next week, Tuesday. All right? And then next week, do 3 and 4, and homework 2, and so on. Okay? So you know what videos to watch, you know what homeworks to do. Okay? And this is your roadmap for the entire semester. Okay? So that's our syllabus. I think I've covered everything there. I want to go back and go here and show you a few key things on the site. All the notes are here, the blank notes for every lecture. So this week, we're focused on lecture 1 and 2. All the videos are right here. Click 1 and 2, right? So all that's there. And, oh, by the way, homework 1, okay, this is only for students who have trouble getting into mastering engineering, okay? So if you're one of those students that's having trouble getting in, maybe you don't have the textbook yet, or you don't have the code, or whatever reason it is, you're not in mastering yet. I have the homework here. It's the same homework that's in mastering. I printed it out. I put it in a PDF, right? And I uploaded it here. And you can work on it, scan your work, and put it in here, okay? Now, if you already have access, do it there. Okay, if you already have access to mastering, do it there. This is only for students who don't have access to mastering yet. But please, please get access to mastering. Do everything you can to get access into mastering. Okay, let me show you mastering. The link is right here. It's right off the page, My Lab and Mastering. You click that, you go through, and you should get something like this. Actually, I'm not exactly sure what it looks like. It may look more like this. I don't know. But here's the key. Look for the Assignments tab right here on the left. And you should all have a homework there. Okay? You should all have a homework 1. Okay? And you click it and you do the homework. Okay? So if you have trouble with this, let me know. The assignments is there. It goes to homework 1. I apologize. I talked to a few students who could not see this. Initially, they told me that they went and logged on and they couldn't find their homework. I think I fixed the problem. I think you can see your homework now. If you have any problems, let me know. Okay? So that's the Mastering Engineering. This is where you're going to do your homework. I will put more homeworks up here. I only have 1 now, but I'll start putting a lot more up there. Okay? My goal is within a few weeks that I can be way ahead. Okay? And so you'll see lots of homeworks there. Okay? But I always generate new homeworks each semester. I try not to use the older problems, and I try to use problems that are, the right level. You don't want them too easy, you don't want them too hard, you want them to be just right. Okay? So, all right, so go back to the class here. This is our main page. If you want to use the discussions, you can certainly do that. I have in here a homework discussion. If you want to do that, great. What else is there that you need? Not probably a whole lot. My Lab and Mastering, and of course home, the main page is where everything's at. You've got the syllabus, all your blank notes, all your lecture videos, and by the way, when it comes time for a midterm review, I will put some stuff here. When it comes time for final, I will put stuff here. And of course, when we have quizzes, you will click there to see the quizzes, okay? And so there'll be a quiz shortly that will be an extra credit quiz that you'll be able to access there, okay? But really, this course comes down to watching the video content. I suggest that you take the blank notes that you print them, on a printer, and that you take notes while you're watching the video. You tend to learn better. Watch the videos each week and then attempt the homework. Start early with the homework so that you can ask questions, okay? And that you can try to work with this. The worst thing you can do is look up stuff online to try to, get an answer real quick, or just get your help from your friend. That's not going to be so great when you take the tests, okay? And and it's very important that you don't cheat or anything like that. The webcam is there to watch you and detect those kind of things, and so hopefully that doesn't happen, and we keep this very, very much without cheating. So those are the key things. But remember, I want to help you every step of the way. And if there's issues, problems, let's work together. I'll be happy to give you help. But when you are working on a problem, I'm often going to say, okay, well, send me what you got. Send me what you're doing. Send me that, and then I can look at it and work from that, okay? Because it helps when you have started a problem and at least have something, okay? So anyway, best of luck. Let's have a great semester. And just reach out if you have any further questions, and make sure that you get into mastering engineering as soon as possible so that you can go fully into the course. All right, thanks.